Hi guys, this is Mark Shawson, the Pattern Trader. Since the beginning of March, I've been kicking some serious you-know-what in the market in my personal account. I've made over $350,000 going short the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar, the dollar versus the yen, the euro versus the yen, and XAU versus USD, which is spot gold. Over the last 2 days, I've been advising our elite members to start selectively closing out some of these positions, which I've been holding for the last 2 months. And cumulatively on these positions, I estimate that we've bagged over 2,000 pips on some of these trades. I'm going to put up some of the screenshots of some of the open trades and where I suggested getting out. Now, I've always said just because I'm making money in the market, it doesn't mean that you automatically will. It took me over 3 decades to figure out this game, staring at these screens. And I started the Pattern Trader with the intent of alerting you to some of the things that I've learned over the last 3 decades. Not only the opportunities, not only how to capitalize on these monster moves, but hopefully also how to avoid the pitfalls and the potholes. The market set traps along the way, and this is some of the things that we have to avoid both psychologically as well as trade-wise. So again, just because I'm doing well in the market, I don't expect our members to immediately start mimicking my trades. Even though I give people my trades to copy, sometimes it's very difficult to stay in a trade for 2 months, like the Australian dollar, US dollar, and the euro yen that I've been sitting in for over 6 weeks now. So, it's always nice to know and hear from our elite members, how they're doing. When I send out the trades, I never know how people are, taking these trades. I don't know if they're taking these trades and if they're sticking it out. So that's why I want to read to you a couple of testimonials today from some elite members. They were good enough to write me in. And so I'm going to just read off what they have to say. So Noah said he kind of give me a rundown on a bunch of his gold trades where he made 1,705 pips on one trade where he shorted it at 1292.88 and got out at 1275.83. Then he also shorted another trade at 1311, got out at 1275, and collectively he's made 8.79 a reward to risk. So he's made 8 times what he risked in those trades, and over 5,200 pips collectively on those gold trades. So Noah, thanks for sending in your trade. So Roy wrote to me and he says, my profits over the last 2 months, Facebook was 1,600 pounds, Tesla was 2,500 pounds, New Zealand dollar was 450 pounds, and Australian dollar was 250 pounds. Hope this helps, Roy. Roy, it really helps me to know how you're doing, and so thanks for sending that in. Now, Ritz also wrote me and said, hey Mark, I'm currently sitting on 397 pips in one short position and 4 long positions in mini lots. I would have had many more pips if I traded when you said to trade and also not made some of my mistakes. Regards, Ritz. So, very often, that's kind of, what I very often hear, where people don't exactly take my trades. They do some of their own, and then they, fall into their own potholes. So Ritz, thanks a ton for sending that in. I'm going to read one from Bent here. It says, hey Mark, last month I made about 6% thanks to your advice. It would have been more if I didn't do a couple of my own very impulsive trades. So I guess Ritz and Bent, have some things in common. I'm still learning from you and very pleased. Regards, Bent. So Bent, thanks again for writing in. Hushang says, Mark, I joined your elite group on February 26, 2019. And I started my subscription to the elite group. He says, I joined your group February 26 and started your subscription to the elite group March 26, 2019. My Forex profit and loss record with a capital of 10,000 pounds is as follows. On January 2nd, I'm sorry, it's I'm reading the months incorrectly here because I'm in the United States. So from January to May 2019, he was up 6%. And then from January to May, he was up 28%, and also in the same time frame, he was up 33%. I hope you find the data useful regards Husheng. So collectively, it looks like Husheng was up 60–70%, if I'm reading this correctly. So thanks again for that, Husheng. Let's see. Yaroslav says, hey, Mark, I hit the button and formed my profit. It's about $30,000 from recent trades, but I'm going to increase it gradually. I disagree with that guy concerning that nobody cares. People do need to know about your real professional status and success before they allocate their own funds for trading. And Yaroslav goes on to say that he made over $100,000 in a year and a half on currencies, but it was a tough experience following somebody else. The market conditions changed, and then the subscribers to that fellow started suffering massive losses. He said the expert never showed his own actual results. He didn't seem to care about our losses, etc. Then I found your service through good recommendations in late 2016. I continued trading in 2017 under your training and supervision when I believed in you. The trust is important, in my opinion, especially for beginners. There is a huge number of so-called experts over the internet, as you know better than I do. Have a great weekend. So thanks for that, Yaroslav. Dusan says, I started with a very small account of $350. I later put in $1,250 into my account. Thanks to you, I've made 51%, about $820, a total of $2,416. I stopped some positions, opened new ones to raise my account so I could open more micro lots. By now, I'm still in a loss compared to what I've invested in your program. Therefore, I understand the importance of starting with a $5,000 bill. But it's not about money now. It's about the huge experience and knowledge you give to people like me. It's amazing, and I admire you very much. I support you and the purity of the Forex charts. I look forward to your profits because I know that I will have them once. Thanks to you, I found the beauty, simplicity, and purity of the Forex charts. The only thing I struggle with is psychology, to stay in a trade as long as possible. Thank you and have a nice day. And Dusan showed me his equity chart, which seems like it's soared pretty heavily here. So Dusan, thanks for sharing. And like I said, the psychology is important. I've been sitting in some of these trades for 2 months, and sometimes it's very difficult for people to understand how to do that. Luminita says, hi, Mark. I appreciate very much what I learned from you and cannot imagine a Friday without watching your webinar. You are the best teacher I've ever had, and I like you for your professionality and patience that you have when you explain the way we should analyze the charts and trade. I have a demo account, and I'm very contented with the results following your advice. My aim is to learn as much as I can about trading. Just now I work, I'm a nurse, and unfortunately I have limited time to be in the computer and trades. I plan to start trading on a real trading account next year when I shall be a pensioner. I know I shall be successful. I'm very thankful to you and hope you shall continue with your work and continue to teach us. Kind regards, Luminita. So Luminita, thank you very much for those kind words. And finally from Prashant, and I think Prashant really kind of gets the gist of what I'm trying to do at the Pattern Trader. He says, hey, Mark, since joining the Pattern Trader about 7 weeks ago, I've made 53% on my Forex trades, short Australian dollar, US dollar, New Zealand dollar versus US dollar, dollar versus yen, and euro versus yen. Most of all, I'm far more confident about the trades I execute, and I'm willing to sit it out knowing that there's bound to be some ups and downs. I've been reading your daily emails very carefully and have been spending time understanding the reasoning behind them. That to me is far more valuable than the 53% I've made. Having said that, even if I was down 10%, I would still be happy with the Pattern Trader. I can see how the educational aspect of it can easily be overlooked, but to me it's the most valuable part of the program. Thanks for all the work that you do. Thanks, Prashant. So Prashant, really, despite making 53% on his trades, really sees that the educational component, understanding price action, understanding how to view the markets before they put on these monster moves is going to, behoove him well into the future, irregardless of his trading performance. But having said that, he's up 53%, and that's fantastic. But as I've always said, in any given week, any given month, even over the summer, you could be, somewhat lower. But having the capacity to identify these monster moves will eventually enable you to have, a lifestyle of freedom, as I do, where you're, not beholden to anything, and you're, completely untethered. Where, I'm sweating right now. There's some sweat, kind of running down my nose because I just got off the tennis court. I haven't been looking at the markets, and again, this is what I want to do: is convey to you and give you the tools to enable you to be an independent and financially free by understanding how the markets work. So with that said, thanks, and have a glorious trading day. Bye-bye.